What is up, guys? This is the last day of the week, August 14th, Friday. Welcome to the Instantly Show, the daily show on AI go to market and the strategy is driving real revenue growth. We are adding a few new channels to stream our show into, trying to get a bigger reach. So here I'm just making sure that we are going live. Again, in the description, you will find a link to our weekly newsletter where we share the latest go-to-market strategies, the results that we are getting for our clients so that you can just copy and paste it, AI tools, as well as the discounts that you cannot find anywhere else. Sorry. We do have two guests today. The first one is Levi Munneke. He runs a B2B Funnel agency, a done for you outbound company that sells 20 or more qualified sales calls a month. He's only been in the cold email space for only 2 years, but already sent millions of cold emails, pulled thousands of interesting leads out of them. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the strategies that are currently working right now. And don't forget that if you have any questions, you can just put everything in the comments and we're going to have a separate Q&A session where me or Levi or the second guest is going to answer, because the second on a show is David. And David has 5 years in outbound, over 10,000 opportunities generated, 200 plus clients, thousands of campaigns he started. Obviously, he is the guy who gets handed the campaign that is dying, fixes it, and produces the better results. So he will be teaching us how to write the perfect cold email copy. And what I want us guys to do, for anyone who is watching this live, you can input your company, your industry, and we can live with David come up with a copy. I hope he is not gonna be against that, or at least we can help you to brainstorm some ideas. Now, this is going to be our lineup for the today, as you can see. So Levi is gonna come very soon here. Then we're gonna have a tutorial on the AI setter that books calls after the reply is generated from the Levi. Then we're gonna have a few more questions on what he does within his own business. Then cold email copy with David Passive, and the final thoughts that I'm gonna go over and I want you to leave with after we disconnect. Form Energy raised $700 million, which takes them past $2 billion raised in total. And in simple terms, they are a normal lithium battery on the grid holds about 4 hours of power, right? And the Forms battery holds 100 hours. So they are basically a producer of these batteries. And the way it does it is by rusting on purpose. When it discharges, it pulls oxygen out of the air and turns iron into rust, and that releases electricity. When it charges, it turns the rust back into iron. Look, I have no idea what I have just read. Honestly, I was skipping the classes when it came to physics or chemistry. But I hope it sounds cool. I do want to kind of discuss with you, if we have the time by the end of the show, all this hype around like the electric vehicles and the batteries and how safe this is for the environment. Obviously, the batteries are not only used in the vehicles, of course, right? But this whole thesis and the premise of the electric cars being more healthier and better for the environment is kind of is kind of questionable, and more people start talking about this. Now, I did find this cool video, and Colin said Kansas schools are requiring students to log their phones in dedicated phone locker after the state banned cell phones at school. Kansas City, Kansas school districts spent $150,000 on the new cell phone lockers. The students are required to keep the phones. So let's see the video.
Let's go next one up, please. Por favor, quien sigue. Get yourself in line after you deposit your phone.
So yeah, as you can see, this is kind of this is how the entire process goes. I'm not sure if you can hear that.
Okay, don't lose it. Let's go next.
Okay. Now, guys, I'll be very honest with you. Very honest with you. I was not a big fan of this news because I remember myself in school. I am 27, so I finished school what 9, 10 years ago. 10 years ago. So like when I was, in the like middle school, the cell phones were kind of getting popular, but I remember this, the era without the phones, and I remember playing the games on the phone. There was no like social media back there, so I was enjoying the experience between the lessons of having the phone. Now, but I'm not a parent. I don't have kids yet. Okay, so I guess this is, I don't know. So you tell me, guys. So those who are parents and who have kids that are going to school, I guess this is a good thing, right? But completely limiting it, it's like an artificial block, right? And I'm not a big fan of artificial blocks. It's just better to somehow like educate the child on. But again, like who am I, right? It's like I don't have kids, so like, we'll see. We'll see how that will go in my home. Now, Trezor got breached, and about 13,700 crypto holders are exposed. Trezor makes hardware wallets, those little USB locking devices where you keep your crypto keys offline so hackers can't touch them, as you can see here on the screen. That's the whole point of them. The device itself wasn't hacked. What got hacked was one of their shipping providers. So the names, home addresses, phone numbers, and emails of 11,000 buyers got taken out, plus another 1,000 names and emails. I mean, names, emails, sure. Like, do you really believe that there is like your personal email and phone number is not, and like address is not exposed anywhere on the web, not on the dark web? Like, we are business owners, like of course, like most likely, even my personal emails, I'm like 99.9% sure. I've been, checking it myself. I have 6 personal emails, so not all of them, but so I mean, like, this is just the reality. So I guess nothing to worry about here for the Trezor users. But by the way, I have a wallet myself. I'm not using it. I bought it, I think, like, I don't know, in 2017 or 18, something like this, back in the, first wave of the Bitcoin hype. Was trying to invest some money in the crypto market. So, okay, now the next one is the Higgsfield launched Layers, an image editor built on top of AI generation. What it does is take any image, yours or one it generates, and split it into separate layers. So you can recreate one piece of text or one object without touching anything else in the picture. So we'll check out the video right now that they have released, but like from my understanding, this is more of a like Photoshop experience, right? Like when you have the different layers, and so like text is one layer in the background in the image, and obviously you can like replace the layers and you can build the great templates. By the way, like this is what we use for the thumbnails on the show. If you go back, right, it's like my photo is one layer and the text is another one, and plus, the proper text rendering in native 4K is basically, again, a Photoshop core idea rebuilt on AI generation. No, Higgsfield is Kazakhstan's first unicorn. Kazakhstan's first unicorn started in 2023 by a guy who used to run generative AI at Snap. They are at about $500 million of analyzed revenue as of June, up from around 200 million at the end of last year, which is 26 million users using the platform, and they only raised about 138 million in total. I mean, it's not a small amount, but compared to their turnaround, it's just crazy, right? Let me see if we have the video here that I do want to show you guys. Okay. Right here. So you can see that that was the post, and let's check out the video. Yeah, so I mean, and sorry for the long video. I was trying to talk with Levi. He's having some troubles when it comes to the joining and the video. Hopefully, he's gonna be able to make it. In the meanwhile, let's move on. The Boris Cherny, the guy who runs Claude Code, everything, the biggest platform that most of us use, posted about an experiment he's been running, and the numbers are worth hearing. So they made a Slack channel and set Claude loose on daily maintenance of their own apps, not building features, just maintenance. And one routine opens the app in a simulator and taps around, trying to crash it, and then finds the cause and then fixes it by itself. So it's doing the work, right? But it's not integrating new things. Rather, it's trying to find the bugs and then fix them. So another scans the code base for duplicate versions of the same thing and merges them. Another hunts down the dead code and deletes it. Over a few weeks, those routines opened 388 pull requests. 180 of them got merged after a code review plus a human review. His words, quote, results having surprisingly positive, and when it gets one wrong, they ask Claude to tune its own routine so it does the better. I mean, yeah, just like something very interesting that shows that right now, like we are in the position right now, maybe especially when you work with the complex environments, you cannot fully delegate the maintenance to the AI, but when it comes to testing, the debugging, and going through the different things, now again, because when you're trying to debug an app, there are multiple things, right? Like the first one is obviously from the UI standpoint, from the user experience standpoint, which I don't envision AI getting like replacing a real testers on that side. But when it comes to little quirks, little bugs that are happening here and there that are not supposed to be there, this might be something that is very, very useful. A huge win, a potential win. Anthropic is trading at $1.5 trillion valuation on secondary market, and almost nobody wants to sell it. Again, secondary market, this is not because they didn't do a public IPO, so this is like a secondary market, and it just shows that the valuation is ridiculous. So because again, the Anthropic is still a private company. So if you want it, you buy shares from employees or early investors instead of on a stock exchange publicly. And that's called like the secondary market. Right now, those shares are changing hands at up to 1.5 trillion, which is 25% higher than a month ago. And the CEO of one of those trading firms said that even at that number, there just aren't many sellers. For scale, their last official valuation was 965 billion back in May. Their revenue run rate is 47 billion, which is, if the run rate is what, like, if it's like 50 billion a year, right, then it's 20x multiplier on a yearly revenue. Okay, up from 9 billion at the end of 2025. No, actually, so one, but because, like, so 1.5 trillion is actually 32 times revenue multiplier. They filed to go public in June, and the IPO is expected within month. Interesting. So we'll see. I hope you guys don't ape to buy it on your full capital, because I don't know. There being kind of a lot of talk. Let me check if Levi is connecting. He is having some problems with the video. Hopefully this is going to be figured out. So there is a lot of talk on like AI bubble, right? Look, AI is not a bubble. This is obviously AI is the technology, but when people refer to the bubble, usually what it means is that the capital that is getting invested into this whole ecosystem is too much, right? So like, and the companies are overvalued. Now, again, this is a technology that is changing the world, and what we see is, compared to, let's say, a dot-com bubble, right now the infra is getting pulled towards the infrastructure, to the backend, to the data centers, to the energy, right? Not just the the top of the funnel companies like Anthropic. No, but I've been hearing also an opinion that, in the dot-com, like Cisco was one of the main benefit holders of this whole thing, because they've been getting the investment and putting the money into what, like, how to say it, into this transatlantic cables that are connecting continents, and internet is working on top of it. But at that time the usage was not there, so it was like kind of also the bet that needed to happen, right? Because this, so because like, you need the capital, like, you need to build up the entire infrastructure to make sure that more people are going to be able to use that. Now, we do actually have Levi joining us. Let me see right now from here. Okay, 1 second. 1 second, guys. Again, don't forget that we are running this show live. This is why there could be some quirks, as we usually have. Great. So my first guest is Levi Munneke, the founder of B2B Funnel. He's been doing cold emails for 2 years, and his company has already sent millions of cold emails, generating thousands of interesting leads this year. He builds the whole machine for clients, from inboxes all the way to the AI setter. And this is what we also want to talk with Levi, because a lot of people focus on the front end only, and not necessarily on setting appointments with the replies that are getting generated. So, Levi, welcome to the show. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
How's it going, man?
What's up? What's up? First of all,
I'm
is
connected.
it the right pronunciation? Do I say it like Levi?
Yeah, it's Levi Munneke.
Levi Munneke. Okay. So the first question is obviously you're sending millions of cold emails, right? So you're pulling up the volume. And so are you the guy that is responsible for all the spam in my inbox? Are you gonna take the
I
responsibility
sure
for
hope
that?
not. Yeah, I mean, the biggest part about sending a lot of emails is trying to not land in the spam folder. So we spend like a lot of money to just land in the main inbox, and that's
Yeah.
the main goal.
Look, so been going through your content, right? And what I noticed, you do pay a lot of attention on everything that is happening after the reply is generated, right? And making sure that it's not just booked, so the lead is not just booked, but also shows up to the appointment. So why is that? So have you felt that just providing the replies and the leads and even the bookings is not as valuable for the companies as is, or there's something else?
No, what I've found is that for cold email to be effective, I mean, you can give the same leads to two different companies, and one can get almost no results, and one will make like literally six figures. And the difference is just having like a good sales process. And so that's converting a higher amount of leads to booked calls, but also warming up the leads so that it's not some super cold prospect that knows nothing about you when they're on the call, but that they have a bit of information on the offer and that they're more of a warm lead and not just some random person that you're talking to.
Wait, so you said you give the same lead to multiple companies, or are you saying that you literally give the same lead to multiple companies, or I misunderstood?
No, I just mean that what you do after you get an interest reply
Hmm.
is probably more than half of the total like output that you get from cold outbound. And so the first messages that you do to get the interest reply is a little bit of the outbound, but also being able to convert them properly and to be able to maximize the leads that you get is huge. And some companies will get the exact same leads as other companies, or like same type of leads, right? Not the exact same person. And they'll get like 10x plus the results just because they have a good sales process.
Can we brainstorm why this is happening? Because from a bird view perspective, you run a campaign, you generate a reply by presenting your offer, sharing a case study, or whatever your strategy is. The person ideally says, yeah, I'm interested, or let's talk, or let's set up an appointment. Isn't
Mhm.
most of these leads are gonna get booked anyways? Why the follow-up is such a big deal?
Yeah, so I've found that a huge thing that people don't really account for is intent of the replies. And so what
Hmm.
call to action you use is huge because it grabs what type of intention the person's replying for. And so if you do like a call to action saying, hey, can I give you a call on the phone versus, hey, could we book a meeting or hey, could I send over a lead magnet? You're getting different types of leads. And so one, being able to look at the whole funnel and think about the type of call to action that you're going to use to be able to get the best leads is super important. um, but also just being able to understand the intent, understand that each lead is a different person with different, slightly different wants, slightly different needs, slightly different business, and sort of catering to that in your reply and in your follow ups as well.
You're also saying that the majority of the business from the outbound comes from first email as well as the first follow-up. Is this correct?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Why
think in terms of
then
metrics
do
and numbers,
I wanted to say why then do most agencies and businesses still do like 3 4 follow-ups, and do you even think that it needs to be done, or just cut it at one?
to be honest, I don't really know. I feel a lot of the people that would be doing that would just be doing it because they heard it somewhere, or they're told. But if you're looking at the hard metrics of like the best results you get from the emails is usually in the first one you get the best results,
Hmm.
second one you get slightly worse depending on the market, and then third one and after it just completely drops off and you're probably getting more people marking you spam as well. And so I think if you have a small target addressable market and maybe you're doing manual email and you really want to maximize your TAM, then yeah, send a couple more, maybe three or four. But if you have a huge target addressable market and you can just scrape more leads, like it's just more logical to send to more leads and only send two emails.
And also, does this also depends on the industry that you're targeting? Because from my understanding, you're targeting local businesses and you are getting local clients and not necessarily, software companies as most agencies do, if I'm not misunderstanding. Why is that?
No, I'd say we target different types of industries. So for enterprise, it's like a completely different game, and maybe you want to send a couple more follow-ups and have a different strategy. But even for like mid-market and like 50 to 100 employee like construction companies, from the metric standpoint, you're going to see the best results in the first two emails. After they do an interest reply, then you want to barrage them with like 5 to 7 follow-ups to make sure that they try to book. But no, in almost any campaign, you'll see just the first two emails is kind of the best. And if you have more leads to send to, it's better to just send to those extra leads instead of sending more follow-ups.
Yeah, makes sense. I do want to ask you, are you going to be able to share an example of your AI setter? Or if not, that's fine because I know that you're experiencing some troubles with connection.
I think I can. I mean, I have it on my computer. The camera thing is not working, but I think I can still screen share from my computer if that
Uh,
works.
I think you can then try to connect. Okay, so like we'll try it out. So everyone who is
Yeah.
watching us live, do not click off. Levi will be giving us a walkthrough, ideally, if we able to pull this off in about 5 minutes. Also, down in the description,
Yeah.
you will find a link to subscribe to our newsletter where we share daily and weekly AI strategies, go-to-market tools, as well as the discounts you won't find anywhere else. So, Levi, how do you currently get the clients yourself in your business?
I'd I'd say it's about half from just our outbound, and then half is inbound through mainly X.
Ads. Do you get
Mhm.
a lot from the content that you post on X?
Yeah, I'd say a decent amount. I find that for X, usually when you post, it either goes viral or it doesn't do that well. So it's a bit like
Right,
volatile.
right.
Um, but yeah, it's decent, yeah.
And interesting, why have you chose X instead of the LinkedIn? You do have a LinkedIn, right? But it's not
Yeah.
that big as the X one. Was it an intentional decision or was it like, yo, like X is just pulling better numbers?
Yeah, so I do have a LinkedIn with about like 1,200 like
Yeah.
connections or whatever, but my X has like 6,000, so
Yes.
it's doing decently better. And I think
Yeah.
also the impressions are way higher in X. Uh, I kind of just started X and YouTube. It would have been a year and a half ago because I wanted to go really hard on content. I was like, I'm just gonna pick a platform. Elon's changed it up, so it's probably anything new. Probably there's some opportunity there.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just tried it, and it started working after a couple months. So I doubled down. LinkedIn, I just don't enjoy as much. I never really scroll LinkedIn, and I know that there's a lot of opportunity there, and I'm actually posting a bit more now, but it's a bit more boring to me, to be honest.
Yeah, so there are a lot of memes about people who are posting, and Elon is usually roasting them on posting on LinkedIn instead of doing it on X. We are active everywhere, so but you wouldn't say that right now. You generate a ton of leads from X right now, right? It's just more for content sharing and long term growth, right?
Yeah, I definitely say it's a long-term play. We launched that software recently, and that's been pretty decent from X. But generating the higher ticket leads, I'd say it's more difficult to get like consistent calls. Usually you just get like a really good whale sometimes, or like you'll have a couple posts that pop off, then you'll get a bunch of leads for a couple weeks. But the low ticket is pretty consistent. That's nice.
The last question before we will try to see your screen and see your setter. Why, on the first place, you decided to build up your own agent, tool, the setter that helps you to book all the replays that you generate instead of, I don't know, like relying on a third party tool or, buying something? Because let's be real. I mean, it's not that they cost much, right? Like, especially in
Mhm.
your volume. So, what was the thinking behind it?
Yeah, well, it was about a year ago when we built the first one, which was on make.com. Now it's Cloud Code.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because it was pretty simple. I just didn't really realize that there was other tools to do it. And for my first couple clients, or I guess it was definitely over a year ago now. But our first couple clients, I said, "Yeah, I'll get you up to book call," and I was like, "It's starting to get to be a lot of people. I can't just manage these myself, so I need something to handle the replies." And so we just made a simple AI automation, and then the prompting started to get harder, um, and we just started to put more work into it until we had like a full AI setter system with like Slack pings and CRM pushing and all that stuff, and
Hmm.
bunch of craziness.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, let's try to share the screen now. You can try to share it on your computer. Maybe you can log in with the same link, but don't click off from your phone. Can we try to make that? So,
Okay,
so I see your camera plus the second one as the screen.
I think it's working right now. I got my computer in front of me.
Can you log in to the same link on the computer?
Yeah, I'm in that right now.
I think I don't see it for some
I
reason.
got it says it says it's already induced this room.
Okay.
Um
Let me try to send you a different link. Wait. Um,
okay.
so I am going to. Should I send it on X?
I mean email is
Email.
easy too.
Yo, guys, everyone who is watching us live, don't mind us like figuring it out, right? So this is the whole game of running the live show because I was always, curious of how the big dogs like TBPN are doing it because everything is super smooth. Plus, I mean, let's be real, like the guys are huge and they're having a huge production team and a huge team on the back end who are figuring all these things out, and we are just a small fish yet trying to catch up with them. So this is why it matters. Now I do see um a few questions. By the way, guys, I do see your questions right here. So we will answer them very shortly. Please, while we're figuring it out, if you have a question to Levi, if you have a question to me, please leave it in the comments and then we are going to go through that. Okay, I do see your
Wait, I think it's
screen.
working.
I do see. Let me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be pulling it off. Can you explain what you're going to be showing first?
Yeah. So I mean it's just kind of a custom system. It's not gonna be too pretty. It's more of what it does because it's like an internal tool
Mm-hmm.
that only we are using right now. And essentially it's just lead routing and our process from when we get an interested lead to a booked call. And I wouldn't say that's meant to handle the whole process, but it's meant to make it as smooth as possible so that humans that are managing it can get the most output from their time.
Hmm. Very interesting. Now we can see your screen. So tell us, what are we looking at?
We're sharing right now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Um so yeah, this is just the setters page. This is where we build the different custom setters. Each setter is three different prompts. And so what we do when the interested lead comes in is first we have just a universal classification of
Mm-hmm.
not interested or interested.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the first step, which is okay, we only want to handle the interested replies. And then after this, we have a full triage prompt to see what type of intent is the lead. And so the
Mm-hmm.
main ones that we usually look at is like a soft interest, which would be an okay, sure, yes, an information request, which is a question about like what we do or like our services, a pricing request, a booking request, or just other. And so we can route these different type of intentions to different processes, right? A soft interest should probably just be a automatic reply because it's going to be pretty much the same for all these simple questions or simple responses. But then if it's a question, we'll put that into a Slack channel with a drafted reply that you can either edit, approve, or reject so that we answer all questions properly and we don't have like some AI slop giving the wrong answer.
And when the reply, how does it work technically? So like you approve it and then it sends the reply, or like you get copy and paste, like whatever.
Yeah. So to start, everything's pulled. We have like a full settings tab with all the API connections. Everything's pulled from like an instantly webhook. And then so it comes in, and then we have a Claude and a ChatGPT API connection as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that will draft a reply based on our reply copywriting, and then it pulls knowledge based on the company from the knowledge base. So we build these three different prompts: the triage, the reply copywriting, and the knowledge base per client, and it'll handle the information requests to its best knowledge from the knowledge base and from the reply copywriting. And then yeah, it'll be like a Slack ping with three different buttons where you can just approve it and send, or you can edit it a little bit if it got something wrong, or you can just reject it and then handle it yourself and instantly.
Okay, very interesting. So again, just so that I map it out in my head. So the reply is received. Once the reply is received, it is, it is sent through the webhook, through the connection to, this back to your backend yourself, right? So like you have the configurations, and it qualifies, triage, like does whatever. And sorry, I missed it. Does it send the reply right away, or you first need to approve it?
So it depends on what you want to do. And so that's what these options right here are.
Ah,
If it's a
okay.
soft interest,
Mm-hmm.
it'll send right away. It's on auto send. Or you can have it in Slack approval or just human only. And so you can edit it for different types of intents based on what offer you're working with and different variables.
Hmm. This is very interesting. And what model are you running it on?
We use different models for different parts of the setter. And so the intent gate right now, I think, is Claude Haiku, and the reply drafting is Claude Sonnet. We were also using actually GPT 4.1 for a while. The older GPTs were actually doing better than the newer
I've
GPTs,
heard a lot of
but we're using Claude
about
right
that.
now.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Cool. And do you do
Um,
you do you care about the cost? I mean, like, because it's not like millions of replies, right? And you can technically use, I don't know, like Opus 5 or even Fable 5 if you wanted it to. My guess.
yeah, well, if you just look at the cost of how much the API like connection costs versus how much you're getting from a setter converting a lead better, it's always going to be worth it. So like in our settings tab, we have a cost calculator, and it's almost nothing. Like, well, okay, 4 cents for the different models. It's not that much.
Mm-hmm. Very look, it's very interesting. Now, anyone, I guess, who is gonna have like some additional questions on that, guys, either post it right now in the comments, or we're gonna share the Levi's social media accounts, and you will be able uh, to have a convo with him. Look, that's fine. Like you can stop sharing the screen. I do have a follow up. Do you usually sell this as like as an add-on? Do you or do you price it within your services by default?
Yeah, it's kind of a default part of our services. Some people like to just, I think different companies manage leads booking differently, and it's good to respect that and to like do it with them instead of just trying to do it all yourself or give it all to them. And so it's just kind of like, yeah, part of our service as a tool that we use. Some people have SDRs that want to manage all the leads, so we'll just give them the Slack pings. Some people don't have as much power to do that, and so we'll try to manage most of it with the setter. Um, but yeah, it's definitely just like part of our services, and we use it for pretty much every client.
That's cool. That's cool. Awesome. Look, right now we are going to play a little game with you. I'm pretty sure that you are familiar with this game. I am going to share my screen right now. And this is a game of you ranking the different things that actually book replies book sorry, so let me formulate it correctly. So you're going to be ranking the different actions from S to D on how important they are to generate a meeting, so to book the lead in. S being this is the action that you really want to take. This is the highest converting mechanism that would book as many meetings as possible from the replies. And D being like not really effective. You should not use it. You got it?
Okay, let's do it.
So another email follow up. So meaning someone replied, said that they are interested, and then you're following up
Mhm.
with a question through the email.
Are you saying this is after your initial follow-up? This is like numbers 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yes.
etc.?
So again, let's say the replay is received,
Yeah.
right? And you can call the lead, you can text the lead, you can send a LinkedIn message to the lead, you can send them a booking link, right? And these actions have different effectiveness on how likely the lead is going
Mhm.
to get booked, right? So I want you to kind of rank
Okay.
them in order. In the same page?
So, I mean, if we're doing cold email, you have to follow up on email.
And this is very
And it
interesting
really depends
because
on the
I do
market.
have a phone call
Sometimes people,
here. So and this is like, if you can
yeah,
expand on that. So
I put,
if you believe that this is even, useful to call them as soon as the replay is generated.
I definitely put the another email follow-up as A tier, because if you're messaging them on email, you have to make sure that, I mean, you're on email and giving as many messages as you can, meaning not just the initial reply, but like the 5 to 7 follow-ups after as well.
How about the phone call? Calling the
And then,
lead.
yeah, phone call. I just want to put that in S tier because most markets it does very, very well, and it can double or more your lead to booking rate and also help you pre-qualify leads and just build more rapport with them before the call. So when people start phone calling leads when they haven't before, it makes like an insane difference in their lead to booking rates.
A little follow up. Do you believe in the AI phone calls setters on voice after the replay?
Would that be like an outbound
Yeah,
AI
bot, like,
voice setting?
so triggered to call the lead.
Yeah, we haven't tested this yet, so I'm not sure if it performs. I would be nervous to do it because people are already sketchy of cold emails.
Yeah,
They don't really trust you.
yeah,
And so if you get an AI call, they're probably going to think it's a scam. That's just what I'm
right.
assuming. But I mean, if you've tested and it works, then I mean, we try it.
We actually did test it, and it doesn't
Okay.
work really well. Because
Yeah.
let's be real, right? Sure, you would spend some more money ideally on a setter with a, you know, within the US without an accent, right? Like, who can, talk really well.
Mhm.
But as you're saying, it's going to be, worth it. So it can like literally double the amount of bookings that you're getting. So
Yeah.
how about the
It's
text
insane.
message?
We haven't really done too much of that. I know there's like some regulations on it, and I'm Canadian, and a lot of people we email are US. So I'd put that in B tier. I think all follow-ups are good, but it's not going to be as good as another email or a follow or a phone call.
A LinkedIn DM.
It's always going to depend on the market. I'd probably
Yeah.
put that
Yeah.
in B tier as well. Just because for the markets that we usually target, it doesn't seem to make that much of a difference. But I think it is good to hit multi-channel. It shows that your business has their systems in place and that you kind of know what you're doing with your outbound.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like a local guy, it's like, who don't know what the LinkedIn is, right? So like, it's gonna
Yeah.
be a D. But if it's like a
Yeah.
software guys, right, or agencies, this could be like an A tier. So I agree. Let's put it at B. Voice note
Yeah, it could be very good. Like a voice note on,
on the
are
phone.
you talking about like
On
a
the phone,
voicemail
yeah.
or what, like a voice note on LinkedIn or
No, the voice note on the phone. On the phone.
like C?
A
Yeah,
personalized
C tier. I don't
video.
really know if many people are um listening to those.
A personalized
A
video meaning
personalized
the
video,
loom,
okay.
like the loom,
It
that
can do
you're.
very well. Yeah, it can do very well. I know like those client ascension guys were running that for a while, but you have to do it properly. So I'd put that in A tier, but it could also be like a C tier or D tier if you don't do it well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dropping
If
a
it's like baked into your approach, it's very good.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Plus, but still, it's most likely not an ask because you need to make sure that the people are actually gonna click on it, and it's just a link. Um, so, but how about the dropping a calendar link, right? So right away, like you're interested, yes, the first reply like, "Yo, book an appointment here. Here's a link."
I know some people will find it disrespectful or something. I've heard that before, that it's kind of annoying when people just send calendar links. I find that it does work decently well though. I mean, if someone wants to book a call, just send a link. It's the easiest way of doing it. So I'm actually gonna put that at A tier, is sending calendar links rather than trying to manually book in, especially with the setter workflows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Handing it to a human SDR uh, right after. And this is more of a follow up on how effective the AI setters are versus humans right now.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, if a human can respond in the same time as an AI setter, usually they're going to do better, honestly.
But
I
mostly
mean,
they
the point of
cannot
an
do
AI
that.
setter is to make the human's job easier. So I'd put a human at S tier. Yeah, regardless, if you're not counting costs, and the human's decently trained, yeah, they're an S tier. It's going to be the best way to convert the lead. I'd rather talk to a human than an AI.
So S or A?
Yeah, S for sure.
No, I guess like we can
No,
skip
I'd put that, yeah, S tier.
and Instagram and WhatsApp. This is kind of related more to the same as the LinkedIn, right? Like it depends on the industry.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I haven't done any WhatsApp or Instagram outbound, so I really wouldn't know, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I'd probably put that at a lower tier because not many people do that type of outbound. I don't think it performs as well as just like email, call, and LinkedIn.
Okay. Okay. Look, this is all good. I appreciate you sticking around. Now, the last thing that we do with every guest on the show is going to be a blitz, which is me shooting the questions to you very fast, and then you reply either fast or expand on your answer. You ready?
Okay,
Google or Microsoft inboxes?
Google,
Age domains or fresh?
aged,
Do you use spin tags in the emails?
yes.
Personalized first line or a short and clean one?
I'd say relevant first line, not first line. It's a bit different.
Plain text or HTML?
Plain text.
Would you ever send emails from your main domain? Would you recommend it to anyone or only the secondary ones?
Not cold emails. No, never.
Best reply rate you've ever gotten from a campaign?
20 something percent.
Would you take a client, which is the new client, without the case studies, without the proof of concept, without product market fit as a client?
In rare cases, if they want to just test their offer and they know that there's a chance that it won't work if they haven't proved it yet.
Great. Awesome. We do have two questions from the people in the comments. The first one, can you elaborate on how you take someone who replied worth interest into a conversation? But I guess we already kind of covered this with your AI setter demo. This was asked before that.
Yeah, I mean, I could give a quick thing is reply as quickly as possible,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to push them further. So try to get them on a phone call or a Google Meet. Every message that you send back and forth on email is a conversion drop off where some people won't reply and you're losing leads. So try to get them on a phone call or try to get them on a Google Meet by shooting for times and giving a reason to be on those calls.
The second question is, how many emails do you recommend someone put sending each day, and how fast should we be dialing up numbers?
So, I mean, there is the people that do the manual email approach, and that's not my approach. I think if you're doing mass cold email, you should start off with at least 1,000 emails a day. I think it's a good
Mm-hmm.
place to start. And you should call them as soon as possible. I mean, if you could do it in under 10 seconds, that's ideal. Just as quick as you can, ideally under 5 minutes.
Great. That was all the questions, Levi. I appreciate you
We
coming in the show. Where people can connect with you?
Uh, DM me or check on my X account. That's where I'm most active. X.com/Levi K Munneke. And I post a lot on there about everything that I do.
Great. Look, man, I appreciate you coming in the show. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, likewise.
Cheers. Awesome, guys. That was Levi. Now, we are having the second guest. Yeah, we have a very, very dense show today. Now, Levi was actually sharing some sauce when it comes to the AI setters. See, this is interesting because within the Instantly, we do have a follow-up agent that is booking a ridiculous amount of calls with the leads that you can try it out yourself if you just log into the account. But see, Levi built his own thing, right? Is the custom one, which just shows that there are, different approaches to different things, and like there's just no right or wrong, answer on doing things. You can kind of adapt to whatever fits you and show the results. My goal here is to show you what is possible. Now, let me see if our second guest is going to be joining us very soon. Right now, give me 1 second. Okay. Now, we are going to take a 10-second pause, so do not click off, please. And we are back, guys. So let me see. The second guest today is David. He spent 5 years in cold email, worked with over 200 clients, ran thousands of campaigns, and generated more than 10,000 opportunities. Right now, he handles 25 to 30 of the biggest accounts here at Instantly across healthcare, legal, fintech, and AI. And he is the guy who knows when a campaign is dead and better how to make sure that it's going to be revived. David, can you hear me? Can you see me? I cannot see your video for some reason. Can you check it out again? Yes, turn it on. Yeah. Okay, guys. So let me reintroduce David again. Our second guest is David. He spent 5 years in cold email, worked with over 200 clients, ran thousands of campaigns, and generated more than 10,000 opportunities. Right now, he handles 25 to 30 of the biggest accounts here at Instantly, and he works across healthcare, legal, fintech, and AI. He's the guy that knows how to revive the campaign from being dead and build it from the ground up. David, welcome to the show. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, good to be here.
Yo. Um, the first question that I do have before we go into the tutorial and you teaching us how to write a cold email copy, which is generally speaking the easiest industry to book meetings in from cold outbound?
That's a good question.
I
Actually,
know
I
it
gotta think about
depends,
this one.
but I want to get an answer.
I think it's funding. I think is funding just because we get the most opportunities in funding when we work for funding businesses and we when we do funding campaigns. It's the easiest to get positive replies, and the meetings just come naturally from that one. Again, another easy one is, I guess, um, I have a couple of companies that buy businesses, and it's really easy to work for them. You can basically write one sentence in the email campaign, and people will just want to jump on a call with you. So that's the two easiest I've seen. And if I had to pick a hard one, it will probably be something with AI, SaaS, possibly marketing as well. Marketing gets a lot of opportunities, but people just don't want to go on a call. So yeah, that will be my
But
final answer.
what is it? Is it like an offer that is getting presented, or is it more about the behavior of the leads that are receiving the emails and how they are getting used to, you know, partnering up with third party, you know, companies and agencies?
I think it's like this. I think it's the so for example, when you go and offer funding to a business, they need it. If they need it, they'll reply. In marketing,
Yeah.
people need it, but it's not necessary, you know. And again, it's the offer as well. Like if you give them a good offer, if you say I'm gonna work for you for 3 months for free, you know, people are gonna reply. They're gonna jump on a call. But if you make an offer where you say, "I do this business, do you want to talk?" Nobody's gonna reply.
Hmm.
So
And you manage quite a lot of accounts at once, right?
yep.
Usually, from my understanding, the clients and accounts that come to you have something broken. Can you elaborate on what it usually is? Is it like wrong targeting? Is it the offer shit and you need to rebuild it from scratch? Is it a
Mhm.
copy? Like, what usually is the main driver of the campaign getting its trash results?
It's too there's too much so
Yeah,
first of
of course.
all, people that think they know how to write like a campaign, they don't, because they use chat gpt, and they left out double dashes, and usually their call to action is, when are you free for a call? Do you have 15 minutes? Would you like me to schedule a 15 minutes meeting? Which is not trendy anymore. Like that used to work 5 years ago. Now it doesn't work. And people go by the easiest road and say, hey, when somebody responds yes, I can just book a meeting. That's why I see the most. Usually with targeting, I have no problems. People, my clients usually know their ICP, but there are some people that think that they can get some big fishes. Which, for example, he has a product and his ICP is companies with 1,000 plus employees, and these people are just hard to get.
Yeah.
Especially when the business that's targeting them is like a small business with like 3 people. And I always, when I go to on a meeting with them, I always say, hey, try and start from the bottom, like target smaller companies, smaller wins, and then eventually we'll get to the bigger companies and their enterprises. That's what they usually do. And also, I think I have a problem with campaign setup. They don't use People don't use enough spin tags because they don't know what that is. They just put the plain campaign in, and they send out 10,000 emails, and then the infrastructure gets burned, and then the opportunities stop coming, and everything stops working. So I would say that's like the most common one. And then yeah, bad offers are all around. Like I think the biggest skill here is you need to know one lead magnet you can create for them that works in the industry that they're targeting. So
Hmm.
yeah, people just are incapable of making lead magnets. They can make offers. They usually make, I don't know, ROI calculators or stuff like that, but it's got to be something more. It's got to be something beautiful, something that the people will say, hey, let me check this out. Yeah, send it over, or we can go on a call and talk about this. So yeah, that's about it. And personalization, sometimes they mess up the personalization a lot. Like I've seen clients that have, like, every line is personalized when it shouldn't be like that, and every line just like says nonsense that is just useful, but useful. So that's what I see a lot. And yeah, and that's about it.
Got it. Got it. Look,
Yeah.
you can start sharing the screen, and while you're doing that, everyone who is watching us live, in the description, you will find a link to subscribe to our newsletter. We weekly send the latest go-to-market strategies, tools, as well as the discounts that you will not find anywhere else. Besides that, please, in the comment section right now, you can post a question. After David is done, we will go over the questions. Either it's a question to me or to David. Will be able to answer that. So please don't be shy. David, let me know when you share it so I make sure people can see it.
uh should be this one. I'm sharing it, I think.
Yes, I will be opening it up. While I'm doing that, explain what you're going to be showing.
Yeah. So instead of just making a campaign from scratch, or a copy from scratch, I picked out five copies that like five emails that are performing really really good right now. And basically, I'm gonna be explaining why they perform good. And people can see, maybe they can use it for their own campaigns. Maybe they can see the call to actions I'm giving here, which I think are really important into the business that we're in. And yeah, they can see a couple. I have five examples that I think would be really nice to like show.
Great.
um
We can
and
see your screen. So tell us what we're looking at.
okay. Okay, so this is the first one. That's why I said funding. So if you see this, you would think to yourself, this is just how does this work? Like, people, when they send emails, they put in 100 words, they put in 150 words, because they think that it's not professional to put a one sentence in. Funding, I just did this. I just put in, hey, if you're looking for to provide 150 to $250,000 in funding to businesses based in the city, which is the personalized variable, would company name be the right fit to consider? That's it. Imagine, I think this one got us around 800 and something opportunities, and this is just variant A. So I go and make a variant B, which is a little longer but keeps the same structure, and that got us a lot of opportunities as well. And for funding, this is what works. For funding, if you send them a message, if you send them an email saying, hey, we helped this company, we gave them 1 million, we gave them 2 million, or we do this, and people are just going to lose interest. You just ask them, hey guys, do you need the money? Like, we're doing funding to companies in this city. If you need funding, we can talk. And
Mm-hmm.
that's it. That
Mm-hmm.
works. I didn't change this one for quite a while. I think I kept it on for 4 months, and campaign performance never fell down. I picked the right targeting, which was, I think restaurants in the US, and I just kept on adding data, and the opportunities kept on coming. So this was a nice campaign. Um,
But may I comment on that? Because so I know that a lot of people who are seeing that will think, oh, but like this campaign will work obviously with when you're giving money to businesses, right? Like it's easy, right? It's easy. Like, yo, like, do you need money? Like, yeah, sure. But you mentioned the restaurant. So like, are you kinda using the same type of the angle of, hey, this is what we can give you in a short little sentence, personalizing as little as possible, I would say.
uh, yeah, yeah. We can also add. for example, if a restaurant is a pizza place, we can also add a variable in a personalization where we can say we are funding pizza places in New York. Would company name be the right fit to consider? Or maybe even a better call to action, a more natural one. So here personalization is good as long as you don't overuse it. Like, don't add your location is on that avenue and then we're doing this on this avenue. It's just going to confuse the potential client and the lead. I just go for simplest form. I just ask them, like I said, we can maybe do a personalization where we say the type of their business. It's a really easy personalization to make, and it works. But I wouldn't add more than that.
Okay.
It's tested. It
Yeah.
works. So
Got it. Got it.
yeah.
Let's move on.
Okay. Next one is yeah, then I improve. See, for me, the whole philosophy of making a campaign is just make it sound simple. Like, don't add a lot of name drops, don't add a lot of numbers, you make it sound human like, because from my experience, people buy from people. They don't want to buy from companies, they don't want to buy from AI, they don't want to buy from automated campaigning instantly, you know. I always make them think that we are a person that has reached out to only them. And first of all, the reply rates are much bigger than other campaigns where it sounds like a sales pitch, and people just reply to this. Even if they say I'm interested, it's easier to get them on a call when they know they're speaking with a human. Um, Here, as you can see, it's extra small. We help schools make hallways calmer and safer with digital passes, live visibility, and then we just ask them
Yep.
if they have that set up company name. It's that easy. It's that easy. It's You don't have to do anything. We just mentioned a fact of what we did for other schools. Here, for example, here you can add a personalization. If the Let's say if the school you're reaching out is in Michigan, you can personalize these two to sort of be variables that give out the
Yeah.
name of the schools that you worked in Michigan, and that's a good personalization. It usually works. Like, it usually adds value to the copy. Otherwise, it's just as simple as that. And we had a lot of replies on this one. I don't know how many, but probably around 90 or 80 replies. I mean, positive replies, opportunities. So yeah, this one works extremely good. It's a case drop, like a named proof, a
Interesting.
case study one. Yeah, works fine. Should we go next? Yeah, let's go on a third one.
Yeah.
Okay, this
Observation
one is
opener.
this one is extremely cool. This one is extremely cool. Listen to this. This one is basically, I have a company that what they do is they go to businesses that don't have a good reputation online. For example, bad reviews, or their account on Facebook has been blocked, or banned, and they usually fix that for them. I don't know how they fix it, but they do fix it. And what I did here was I went online and I scraped, I think, around 30,000 companies where they have a really bad review. And I scraped the review as well. And I reached out to them by
Mm-hmm.
saying, hey, I Google reviews, and run reviewer, the name, here's the first and the last name or the company name, caught my eye. And this is here the review text. For example, if someone said, hey, I tried this pizza and it wasn't really good, it was stale, it wasn't
Yeah.
tasty, that's what it reads. And then I give them the offer. I give them the pitch. Would you want me to have this review deleted from Google? Like, we can do that. We specialize in doing that. And oh my god, I think on this account I have 1,500 or 600 opportunities till this day. This copy probably got me around 200 or 300 because we sent so many emails. And imagine the copy is that good. When I used those 35K contacts a couple months ago, I revived the campaign with the same ones, the ones that didn't reply, and it's still getting positive replies. Like, I recycle contacts and it's still getting replies. So so yeah, so I
And
would
it's
say this
interesting
one is
because I like I'm receiving the emails like this myself, but it's usually in the Trust Pilot because it's an agency. So yes, that's really a good point of observing of whatever company has about themselves on the public, places, and then referencing it.
Yeah, yeah. And for us, for example, if I receive a mail like this, I'm the expert. I know how they wrote it, and
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna lie. But you gotta understand, people, especially these people, they don't mess around with marketing. They don't mess around with sales that much. So when they get an email uh, like this, they are, they just want us to help them, and that's why it works so good. And I think I can recycle the data, and I can recycle those leads maybe even 5 times, and it's gonna work really, really nice every time. I just gotta refresh the text a bit, like I just gotta refresh the copy a bit, maybe remove something, add something, but it's gold. This one is gold. So yeah, one of my favorite ones.
Interesting. Interesting.
Okay, next month. Yeah, okay. This is the fourth one. This is a client that I really love, like a really chill client.
And before
Um,
you actually do that, because when I read scarcity, I haven't actually read the copy specifically that you're putting it here.
yeah,
Because to me, like when you say scarcity, right, like it sounds fake, right? Like everyone, like, oh, like 3 spots left, or like we're gonna take only 5 clients, right? So I'm curious how you how you do that, and if you agree that generally this sounds scammy.
it doesn't sound like scam because it worked like really nice for me. I haven't touched this copy except maybe I've changed the call to action a bit, make it a bit longer, make it a bit shorter, make it a bit more natural. But otherwise, this this is a template that I'm using almost for maybe 30% of my account base right now. So every account I have sort of has a copy like this, where we say, hey, this month we're sharing this lead magnet for teams or for company names in Europe. And what it does is it helps with this. Do you need it? I figured as a job title, you're the one that is responsible for this, and it just works. It doesn't matter. Like we are not making it that scarcity because we're saying this month. We're not saying only 5 seats left
This is what I
or
mean,
only.
right? It's
Yeah,
natural, and it kind of blends into the offer, like, of course, because we're like
yeah,
certified, and like of course we have a limited, thing. So it's like it's obvious. This is why it doesn't sound fake.
yeah. Plus this is legal stuff. Like the ISO is a legal stuff, and then people when they read it, they say, yeah, we got to get this. And it
Great.
works really, really. Even in this slow month, the campaigns are just popping off. I refresh them once a month, and they look top notch. So yeah.
Good. Let's move on.
Uh, Next one, I think is the last one. Let me see what it was.
It's the fifth one.
Uh, Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Here, yeah, this one is a really nice. This one is more sort of like a when you see it from afar, it looks like a generic email, and I'll tell you why I made it and I put it in the list here. So for me, the best structure is pointing out their problem, which is this, or pointing out something they can fix, they can improve, then telling who we are and what we can do for them, and then giving them a really human CTA, something that a person would say. For example, I really hate I really hate a CTA that says worth your time. Um, s- s- you can just say that you can just see that it's sales. Like it's not something a human would say. And here it sounds more human. It's a question. It sounds more even. I can even make this even more human. Okay, but it's relevant to the people that we're reaching out to, so they reply. These campaigns are going to people in like companies in the United Kingdom. Campaigns are doing fine. This is just a general. This should be your general structure of a campaign and of a email. I would say, and it's because I've tested this template millions of times and it always works. It always works. Sometimes you need a little more testing where you can test out the intro or where you can test out the offer you give them. But in the end, it always works. It's just like the best general one that I have here.
And
So yeah,
I
these are
would comment
great.
on that is that, like, the first line, see, and this is why you need to understand like who you work with, right? Because like if you're a marketing agency, right, like when you're saying the problem, you need to be specific enough, and the personalization doesn't, help here. So like, yo, a lot of companies right now struggling with, making more money. We can help you. We run ads, right? So like, it's generic, like, of course, right? But here it's like traders and fill out quarter because they most likely like fill it out in quarters. So it's like, it's super like the offer just fits the copy.
Yeah, yeah. But also, I would say there's no rules in this because these are just templates. So maybe trying this exact same template wouldn't work in marketing, and I don't think it will. This is the business that these guys have is basically they hire. They look for ex-military people that they can offer to companies to work for them, like engineering roles, blue collar stuff like that. And that in like that industry it works, but I wouldn't use this for marketing. You gotta know which template will work where. For example, if we use the previous template of an email for this one, it's not gonna work. It's not. You cannot say this month we're giving roles for free. Like
Yeah,
it's not gonna
yeah,
work.
yeah, right.
You gotta test out stuff and you gotta see. For me, I don't know if it's luck. I don't know. I always hit it from the first time. Like I always choose a template and it works. I usually don't have to change stuff. Um,
Okay.
too much. Just be human. Be human. Don't be AI. That's why I tell my team. The team I'm leading, and instantly I always tell them, guys, this sounds so salesy. It sounds like a sales pitch from the 90s. You gotta make it human like, even though it doesn't sound professional. And that's what's gonna get you the positive replies. And they listen to me, and their performance is quite well this month and last month. So yeah.
David, look, that was great. Thank you for sharing all this sauce. Tell where people can connect with you, ask questions if they have any.
Oh, I would say LinkedIn. You can just write my name and my surname. I'm probably gonna be the first one that pops on the search bar. They can always message me. They can always schedule a meeting with me. I'm pretty happy to meet other people to share experiences, help people as well using instantly. And yeah, I'm
Great.
looking forward to it.
Look, I appreciate you coming on, sharing some sauce. People love coffee. And hopefully, you guys are going to integrate some of the things that David shared here. Yeah. So, cheers. Talk to you soon.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Cheers. Awesome, guys. So, look, again, very dense show. Had some difficulties with Levi, like connection, and then here, David. The video quality wasn't perfect, but I hope you understood everything. Again, the David will come on this show regularly every few weeks, sharing some insights. So if you want him to share some more, leave it in the comments or DM me, whatever you want to do. Now, I wanted to say that we will see you guys tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern, but tomorrow is Saturday. Saturday and Sundays are for rest, spending time with the family, spending time in the nature, enjoying working out, whatever, doing business. If if you enjoy that, right? Anyways, but we'll see you on Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern, as always, and you have a good one. As always, peace. Have a good